Hey guys, welcome to Merrivale Ceremonial Complex. What an extremely extraordinary place this is. We have standing stones, stone circles, stone rows, stone kists, and a couple cairns. Now to show you this first off, this is a 3.2 meter standing stone. The base is roughly 60 to 70 centimeters by 40 to 50 centimeters, and the top is 20 centimeters by about 30 centimeters, and it's in a triangular form. Really intriguing. We've seen this kind of form before in some of our standing stones, how it's bigger at the base and smaller at the top, but still it makes me always wonder, what was the actual purpose for this? Did it have some sort of significant meaning, or was it just the stones they picked up? We're literally just 20 meters up from that standing stone, and we've come to a stone circle. Now, a lot of these stones are quite far spaced out. We're looking at about 2+ meters. Some of them is about 4 meters, but we do have some that are fairly closely spaced together. These are fairly small stones, probably not much more than 2 foot high, and none of them have a width of greater than 2 foot as well. So I'm just going to show you the sky over here, lovely and blue, and the way the wind's pulling, the sky we're going to get, brilliantly grey and looking like it's going to rain. But it's still a beautiful place to come out here. It's fairly cold. We're looking about 1 or 2 degrees. With the extreme wind chill, it's bringing it down a bit further. But if you are loving the stones and you want to see them, it's always worth it. Just to show you guys how cold it is up here, if you don't believe me, we have ice. And it's fairly thick ice. You know, we're not talking a very thin layer. This is thick ice. Some parts of it I have actually been able to stand on, but not at this particular point. Here's the beginning of the first stone row. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a panning shot down it. It's quite an amazing stone row because in the centre it's got a cairn, and this is one of the only examples in Dartmoor this is seen. So something to definitely take note of. The cairn's in quite nice condition for its age, so let's go take a look at that now. So those first 2 stones, really impressive and nice dominating stones. But then it comes to really quite small stones. You're not looking at 1 foot high, if that, and not even 1 foot in diameter. But evenly spaced down this row, you do actually find these slightly bigger diameter stones. And we're just approaching the cairn with the kist and the stone circle in the centre of this stone row. Really quite an impressive structure because it's in such good nick. You have pretty much all of the outer stones for the circle, and to give you a quick look inside, it's pretty much got its supporting rocks and no rocks on those other sides, but you could see how that would have probably kept one body. And here we come to another one of these more predominant stones on the stone avenue. It's got a bottom width of about 1 meter, and at the top it would be 1 meter, but it's actually in a triangular shape there, as you can see. Really quite interesting. But just off to the side of that impressive rock, we have this even more impressive kist. Now this is one of the best kists we've shown you on the channel so far. It's enormous. This headstone should be about 1 ton plus. The inside depths of it is about 1 meter deep. It's about 2 and 2.5 meters long, and you're looking at about 1 meter wide, which is really quite big engineering. And here, guys, is the end of the first stone row. This is a lovely terminating stone, a lovely triangular shape, like a lot of the bigger stones here. They are triangular and have a very much greater width than they are wide. You look here, extremely thin, but a metre wide at the bottom, and at the top, you know, it's going into a triangle. I'll quickly show you the leak. Now, this has actually got a lot of stones built into it, which is a shame because we don't know if they've used the Bronze Age or Neolithic stones for this, but it's a lovely leak because of the way it meanders. A lot of them are just straight. This is meandering with quite a fast flow, which I have heard it's caused a few problems in the past for this site with moss growing. So just a bit further up from that leak, only about 5 meters, and we've got the second stone row. I'll show you basically the terminating stone and some of the bigger stones on the end, because a lot of it is very similar to the other one without the bigger, more identified blocks. Now, that first stone row was about 250 meters, and this one we're looking at about 150 to 170 meters. So these are the terminating stones here, guys. You know, you got quite a few nice big ones. Now, in both of these stone rows, the dual avenues are about a metre apart, and on average, the stones are placed in the row about 1.5 to 2 meters away from each other. Stone row 1's terminating stone was triangular, whereas this is very different. It's straight, more of a block shape, not as thin, and roughly the same height, about 1.5 meters tall. So definitely makes my mind start to think about, did they have different shapes for different kind of stones? Because that stone row 1, all of the stones are definitely very narrow, whereas here at this end bit, you know, they're looking a bit thicker, even though this is kind of like a triangle shape, which would put my theory into a bit of disarray. You're hoping maybe 1,000 years worth of weathering has took off a slight corner there. The third circle structure here. Now, this actually has an entrance to it. You can see here. I believe this would have been the entrance. This stone has fallen. If we squeeze in here, the wind's getting pretty loud, but you can see this is another circular structure. Now, this one's a lot smaller, probably about 15, no bigger than 15 meters diameter, and could quite happily have been a roundhouse. With that quite distinctive entrance, you could see it being like that. But it's a big stone here, you know. That's a lot of effort to build these. So they must have been looking as if they wanted to stay. There's another circular structure over there. There actually appears to be quite a few on this area. Definitely 50 or plus stone huts on the Merrivale site, I believe. Ah, yes. This is quite impressive, actually. A lot of the stones are still standing on this circular structure. The inner stones, you can see these aren't small stones. These people weren't messing around here. They're building substantial structures to survive in. They've built quite a large complex. Is a modern standing stone. You can see we've got some placer stones visible at the bottom here. This has got a T marked into it, probably 1.5 meters tall. Not very big at all, but you do get these fairly often on Dartmoor, modern stones, for ordnance surveys and directions. Guys, I'm finding it a bit hard to find the apple crusher stone. We've got herd of horses near this other standing stone, and I would like to say it is always best to be careful when you're dealing with large cattle or herds. You know, if the herd starts to run and they push you onto the ground and start to step on you, you can die. There has been a couple instances where people have died from cows running over them and stuff on Dartmoor. So if you come out here, guys, please be careful, respect the animals, and treat it as if it is your own home. This is a really incredible stone here. Now, I haven't seen anything whether this is Neolithic or not, but I would like to say, from what I've seen on Dartmoor before, this looks very much like a standing stone. It's got the very, very, very popular triangular look. You know, slightly thinner than it is wide, but definitely standing. It's got a nice angle to the way it leans, and you can see here it's really quite thin there, and this is quite prolific on this site actually, these thin stones.